and welcome back to my channel. This week we are going to be doing a really simple, really quick, super budget-friendly project. We're going to be turning a terrarium into a stained glass book display that's going to go inside of our fireplace. This project is going to require very few supplies. We're going to be using a lot of things that we already have on hand, which is something that I really like to do. We're going to give this terrarium a new life and kind of update our fireplace in the process, which doesn't work anymore, so we're not able to build a fire in it. So if you're interested in seeing how we're going to turn a plant terrarium into a book display, then make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more videos like this every single week, and we're going to get right into it. So we're going to move this plant over, and I cannot find my gardening shovel, so don't judge me, but we're going to be using this spoon. Literally just going to... This is so dry, this dirt. I have not watered it in I don't even know how long. I'm just gonna shovel up some dirt, try to pull the little plants out so that I can put them all on the top. Alright, Matt found my little shovel, so we don't have to use the spoon anymore. This dirt is the driest thing that I've ever felt in my life. Woo. That's how you know this plant's a survivor. So this one's not going to be super cute, but like I said, this plant's really hardy, so it'll bounce back no problem. And I'll set this outside in our garden to just get some sun and water and try to revive it a little bit. And then I'm going to take the dirt that's left in here and just dump it in a pot out here. Clean this off in the kitchen sink with some soap and water and just kind of got like the dirt out of it. What I want to do now is just give it a good scrub down. I've got some cleaning wipes and some glass cleaner so that we can get it all as clean as possible. It is quite old, so I imagine it's still gonna look a little bit beat up or dirty, but that's okay because we're gonna have some books in here. We can maybe lay down like a little strip of fabric in the base so that it kind of hides this metal plate that's down there, and then we'll give this wood a nice fresh coat of paint as well, so it'll all get fixed up in the end. We're just gonna wipe it down. So we got the terrarium all nice and cleaned up and ready to go. So now we're going to start the process of doing the stained glass on it. So I have all the materials that I'm going to need out, and I actually already had all of these things from Christmas time because I did some stained glass ornaments for Christmas. So for me, this is a project made up of things that I 100% already had, so that's really great. I love that. If you didn't have this, I'll link the stained glass paints for you all so that you could get those to be able to do this. They're very inexpensive. I think I got this entire kit for $12 to $15. So 6 different colors of stained glass. They also make stained glass tape, and you can also just buy it as one color if you know that you just want to do one color for your stained glass, which makes it a lot cheaper. I think then it's like $3 or $4. So what we're doing for this next part is starting to do the stained glass look on our terrarium so that it can start to make that transition into being a book display. I did some research before doing this. Pinterest research, of course, my favorite kind. I found a few different kinds of stained glass that I really liked, that I thought fit my style, fit the decor of the house, and would look nice on our terrarium, but also wasn't overly complicated because we are going to have to paint this. So I found the stained glass that I wanted to do, and I went ahead and printed out a few different copies of it so that I can kind of do it like paneling in here as a reference. When I show you it, it's gonna look really intricate. It's gonna look like I've lost my mind and I think that I can do this, but I don't plan on doing all of the little details that are in this picture. Yes, it would be beautiful and I would love to do all the little details, but I don't think that it's realistic for me personally to be able to do that and get this look and be happy with it. So I'm going to scale it back and do a more basic version of this stained glass and then let it dry. And then we could always go in and add some of those details once the first main layer has dried. And if it doesn't look good, then you can wipe it off. But if you do it all in one go, when everything is wet, all of your stained glass paints are wet, then you're going to have a really hard time wiping it off. With that in mind, let me show you what I'm going to do. This is the stained glass inspiration that I'm going for. So definitely a lot of detail in there, but my goal is to really kind of just stick to the black stained glass. So what we want to do is take our terrarium and you're going to use the portions of the glass that you plan on staining and leave everything else as it is. And we are going to either cut your image down to size to fit into the glass that you're going to be doing the stained glass on, or fold it, whichever you want to do. Now that I have it positioned so that it's covering as much glass as possible, we're going to go ahead and tape it in. Here we are, it's all taped in, and now we're just going to continue this process until both sides are totally covered, and we're going to overlap it a little bit so that it makes one continuous picture. Okay, so here is where I'm at with it. I got them all lined up and as straight as I could so that the curve is kind of like straight to the top, if that makes sense. And I taped everything down. I also taped it right here so that I can't open it until I'm all done. Okay, so now that I have it all ready to go, what I'm gonna do is take my stained glass paint, which I'm using gallery glass, and I'm literally just going to trace all of the black bits on this image. So I know from Christmas that it's best to start slow because each of these paints, the different paint colors come out differently. So you may use the black paint and it may be like really thick and easy to work with and come out super evenly. And then you could switch to the green paint and it's going to be really runny. So it's pretty inconsistent as a paint. For me personally, it's not really an issue necessarily. It doesn't bother me, but I do think that you should take your time because you want to know what you're working with before you just treat it like the previous color, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna start slow with this black paint and we'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so this is what our terrarium stained glass bookcase is looking like now. I got all the stained glass done on it. I went with the black pattern and then I put white inside all of the black lines that I did, which dries to like a wavy sort of clear stained glass. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I decided to keep it a little bit simpler just because I just felt like the lines were going to get sloppy if I started to do more intricate detailed work for me personally. If you are better with that type of paint tool and doing fine lines and things like that, I think you could totally do it. Just for me, I think it wouldn't have turned out the way that I wanted it to. So I really like how this is looking. I did it on both sides. What I want to do now is the last couple of steps in kind of decorating this before we put the books in and some fairy lights and get it in the fireplace. My plan is to paint the entire bookcase, and then I also want to put something in the bottom because if you can see inside of here, and I'll show you up close, it just has like a metal plate on the base and it just doesn't look very nice, and I think it's going to pull focus from the stained glass and the vintage books, all that sort of stuff. So I want to put something down there there that goes with the feel of not only the bookcase that we made, but also our fireplace and just the general decor of our home. I'm using some scrap fabric that I have left over from our last makeover that we did with the front porch. And this is the fabric that we used on our glass table out on the front porch to make it not look glass anymore and to make it look like fabric instead. So I want to take this fabric that we have left over and cut out a piece that will fit inside of the terrarium on the bottom. And I think that I am just going to lay it in there because it's not going to be moving around a ton, but you could also glue it in if you wanted to. I'm going to kind of just like eyeball it and hope for the best. If you've not seen how I do things, that's kind of my vibe. I like to just kind of go for it. It usually works out. Perfect. Okay, so I think that looks really nice. So that's how I'm going to leave the base, and then the books are going to kind of hold it in place. And if I find that it's moving around a bunch, then we can glue it down. But before I glue it down, I want to touch up the paint. I have this paint sample that I got from when I was deciding what colors to do the walls in this room. So I'm going to use this to paint it because I already have it and I think it'll be a nice color. So this one is Bare Mindful Gray. I'm just going to shake it up and then we'll be able to paint this whole entire thing with it. I'll do the inside and the outside. We can put the fabric in and then let it dry, and tomorrow we can decorate with the books and everything. So our bookcase is completely done. We have our books over here and we're in front of the fireplace, which is where it's going to go. So I want to start to put our books into the bookcase and then we can decorate it in the fireplace. So this should be pretty quick and easy to do. I want to arrange the books considering different size arrangements and color arrangements and see what looks best in the book display. We can also look at if we want to have them standing upright or laying down or a combination of the two. And then I want to put some fairy lights in the fireplace and just kind of fix it up because right now it just has random fairy lights and candles and things in there that don't really look all that great or purposeful. So we will take those out and put all of this in once we get our books in. I think it looks really, really good with this grayish paint color. I'm not sure if you can totally tell the difference on camera. It was like a stark white before, and now it's a more like true gray, kind of a muted gray. And I think it looks really nice with the stained glass and this deep green that we have in the bottom. So I want to keep that kind of color theme going with our books. So these are the books that I have pulled right now. Matt is a big collector of old books. He loves when we go to thrift thrift stores, flea markets, antique shops, all that kind of stuff, or when we travel at markets and things, looking for old books that have either stories that he's really interested in or topics, things like that. So he has tons of old books that we have all around the house. So I decorate with them. I think they're really pretty. So these are some that we just got recently at a flea market in North Carolina. We're gonna put them in here because we don't really have another spot for them right now. I think I'm gonna start with the bigger ones. Let's see how they fit too. So this one will not fit standing up. It's too tall. So what we could do is lay it down is an option, or not put one that big in here. So I think I want them to be standing up right now. I don't feel like you're gonna get to really see them super well if they're laying down. I'm gonna put that one off to the side for now, and let's see what other ones will fit. This one's also kind of large, so I don't know how it'll do. It's so close. This way it would fit. So I could do that. I could put them facing forward because it would fit that way. So maybe I'll try some going forward and some going sideways, and we can see how that looks. Well, that wraps up our video for this week. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how I took my terrarium that I had that was kind of looking a little bit beat up and not getting a ton of use anymore, and turned it into a totally repurposed stained glass book display that gave it a new life, gave it a new purpose, and brought the style and the decor that we're looking for into the room just a little bit more. It added that extra special detail that the room didn't have before doing this, and it made it so that a fireplace that is no longer working now had a purpose. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I love the look of the fireplace now and how it's just really pulling from that vintage decor that I really love and bringing in those old books that we have, that we collect, and the stained glass that you see in a lot of older buildings with vintage structures and decor, and just making the style of the room really consistent in every way. So not just the big pieces like the walls or the furniture, but also the little things, little decor pieces, or something as simple as a light switch can make a huge difference in the feel of your space. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you give it a try as well, if not with the terrarium, then with something that you have on hand. And if you enjoyed my video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this every single week. I put out videos every Sunday, and we will have a new renovation video next week. I'm hoping, as long as everything stays on track with building and all that kind of stuff that I'm going to be doing. So I'm super excited to get that one going and to share it with you guys. Make sure that you tune in next week so that you can see the renovation and how it all turns out, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.